Hi everyone, it's Beverly Burton with Ask a Piano Teacher Who Cares. And I'm definitely one of the piano teachers who do care. Tonight we have a special guest on our show, a student named Roman, my student, who has recently done a piano audition for a middle school program that he's trying to get into. So we want to hear about his journey and also hear about his journey with piano lessons. So let's give a warm welcome to my friend, my student, Roman, as he comes on in and shares with us. Welcome, Roman.
Hello, Mrs. Beverly.
So good to see you outside of piano lessons. We're here to just talk a little bit. You're going to share a little bit about your journey, your exciting journey. Are you excited to share?
Yes, I'm very excited today.
Awesome. So before we dive into the conversation about piano lessons practice, auditions, and all of that stuff, right? How much do you love piano?
Well, I really like piano because it's an interesting prospect. I mean, I've personally always liked music. I feel like I've liked all the styles, and I think it's great to be able to make music. And piano is such an interesting instrument. I actually watched this video once about piano, and it was explaining how piano is in the middle between percussion and strings, and I thought about that for some time. But yeah, I really love piano.
So here's an interesting question. If you could learn any other instrument, what would you trade in the piano for?
Probably an instrument that includes the strings. I mean, I've always thought that the strings really sound beautiful. Mm-hmm. So although I really like piano, I think that if I was going to learn an instrument with the strings, like maybe cello or even violin, would be like an interesting thing to learn.
Do you consider practicing hard work?
I definitely have to challenge myself. Mm-hmm. And certain points where I have to do it slightly more than others. It's definitely something that you have to put effort into. Mm-hmm. But of course, it's not something that's so hard that you end up quitting the whole instrument. Mm-hmm. Let's say.
What would you say to a young person who might want to quit the piano?
I mean, again, I can't decide decisions for people, but I would just ask them questions like specifically like, what parts do you find challenging? What parts do you find harder? Maybe we could see if we could try to help you understand this, or hopefully.
Got you. And I think that's a really great outlook, especially for a young person to have. Instead of giving answers, you try to be very solution oriented, and help them to find the way to figure out what they can do or what they want to do. That's really special. All right. So how long have you been studying with me as your teacher?
Well, man, that's a question I had to think about. I definitely know it was sometime in 2020, but I've honestly lost track on specific.
I got you. Is it because we've been having so much fun?
Yes.
I think so. It definitely was during the pandemic time when we connected. And we've never met in person, which I wish that we did have the chance to meet in person, but we clearly live in a different state at this point, right?
Yes.
All right, awesome. What have you learned since you have been studying with me, been studying at the Beverly Burton School of Music?
Well, I've learned how to perfect a piece rather than just play it. I've been learning how to get the beat perfect, how to have your fingering on point. You have to all the specific things, all those little details that you have to catch. I've been learning how to emphasize those and learn those a little bit better with you, I'd say.
Awesome. And that's amazing because you're saying these things as I would say them. Details are so important. What was the first thing that we added to your practice when you started studying with me? Do you remember what it was?
I think it was using the metronome.
Using a metronome and counting while using a metronome. Then you're absolutely right, because that's what we first did, because I think that's the most important thing: rhythm, beat, being steady in what you do. And that's one thing that I do enjoy, because you picked it up really fast. and you've been using the metronome ever since. What do you like about the metronome? What do you hate about the metronome?
Well, I like the metronome because it can give you a clear path of how you perfect it, and like and it slowly lets you learn how to perfect it by yourself. To the point you don't at times you don't need to use the metronome. Hate it because counting counting can be a little annoying sometimes. I'm gonna be honest, but
Honesty is what we do.
so I have to admit that honestly.
Okay. So it can definitely be annoying. And I don't think that any child likes to count. And I'm always asking for your advice because I think that for your age, you do have a level of wisdom and self-awareness that definitely helps you to be the great student that you are. But what would you say to a student who doesn't like to count?
Hmm. Well, I'd say that actually, what would I say? I mean, I know you have. I mean, at the end of the day, it's necessary. I'd probably tell them about how it's very necessary. I'd also try to synthesize, like, try to have empathy with them because I can know that sometimes it's not the greatest thing to have to count. But really, if you want to perfect a piece, you have to work on that too.
I love it. And do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah, well, I'm either gonna try to take a musical. I'm either gonna try to pursue this, or
Mm-hmm.
possibly another thing, take a path in science. Trying to figure out between the two, but I definitely think that one of those two is definitely my goal to work out in later life.
Of course, of course. You want to hear a little secret about your
Yeah.
teacher? My first degree is in biology. So I was a science major, and my passion was really music. So I love science, and it was the right thing to do at the time. So I did it. But then I taught in the board of education. I taught science and math for a couple of years. And then I went back to Lehman College in the Bronx and I got my degree in music. And I've been teaching privately ever since then for 12 years. So science and math definitely have a correlation. Albert Einstein, do you know who that is?
Yes.
Great scientist, was a musician as well. So I see where there are a lot of places where science and music, science and music, they definitely go together. So it's very interesting that you would say that. But I think that whatever you decide to do, you're going to be great at it. That's a fact. Okay. So I have a question for you. How has it been working virtually with piano? Like that's something that has always been done in person, right?
Yes.
How is it virtually? Like, what do you think the upsides are? What are some of the downsides? Talk about that.
I mean, the good thing is that virtually, I think that I'm retaining the information, which is good. I feel I'm still retaining the information. I also have, on the other hand, I have to say that socializing with people is an important thing that you should definitely try to do in your life. And with the situation, that's kind of a hard thing to do. And I've just been glad that I've been able to learn all the information
Mm-hmm.
that I can.
Do you wish that you could have met your teacher in person?
Yes, I do wish.
Yeah. But we still have the advantage, which is, like you said, getting to dispense information, you receiving information, and also being able to work it out. How has having your mother helped to navigate this whole process?
I mean, mommy, she's really been keeping me on point with on my piano journey, which I have to thank her for because I definitely owe like certain details and certain things that I've been slacking on,
Mm-hmm.
setting me up straight with that, and I have to thank her for that.
And I definitely give her kudos because I think that she does work hard and she's always on top of you guys and she's always communicating with me to make sure that everything that you guys need, you have and working it out. So I definitely thank your mom for being part of this team because we the team, we're a team.
Yeah.
We try to make this dream work for you. So it takes a team and a village to definitely do that, and we're here for it all. So now let's move on to the audition that you did. Let's talk about the audition. How did you find out about the audition?
Well, I mean, we were searching on the schools, and we were trying to find ultimately like what the best piano school was. So yeah, this was just the one that really was highlighting out from all the others.
Okay, so from the day that you chose it to the day of your audition, how much time was that? How many weeks? How many months? How many years? Let's talk about that.
I think it was 2 months.
Are you ready for the audition?
Uh, yeah, I feel like I feel like I should have prepared a lot earlier, actually.
Right. But sometimes if you don't know that you are auditioning, you're just looking for auditions and you find it and then you see the date and you're like, oh my gosh, this is in 2 months. Let me call my teacher and tell her. What did you learn in 2 months?
Well, first of all, I had to learn a lot of scales. I was learning a lot of those. Well, invention number two, because
The Bach invention.
that song, and one of the choices was two-part inventions. So I just kind of used that one. Sonatina, yeah, Sonatina. I had to work that one out. That one definitely was. That was 8 pages.
So thank you, mommy. Thank you, Miss Burton. You know what I'm saying? Like you put in a lot of work, but it definitely took a lot of teamwork to get that done. And I was just really super impressed by that. Like, wow, you learned all of that in 2 months, you know? Um, what did that teach you at that moment when you had to learn all of that information?
Hard work, honestly. Like staying focused on my work and putting in as much determination as you can to achieve your goals.
How much time did you spend per day practicing?
Well, I know definitely in the weekends I did 2 to 3. Um, on the weekdays I had school, so it was more pushing through an hour to 2 hours, and maybe an hour
Mhm.
and a half at the worst.
Okay,
It's
got
just as
you,
much as possible.
got you. And what did you learn about yourself through this process? Something that you didn't know about Roman before. Did you learn anything about yourself during this process?
That I can do well anything, honestly. Yeah, that I can do anything if I really like apply myself to see what I'm trying to achieve.
Mhm. I love it. I love it because that's important for life, you know. Oh, I got 2 months, got to learn an 8 page song, all these 12 scales, 12 minors, arpeggios. Oh, well, forget it. Too late next year. You could have said that, but you pushed yourself. That's amazing. And I think that also it shows me that we always have time to get stuff done. It might be tight with the time, but we could always find time if we really want to get something accomplished, right? Yeah, that's cool. How was audition day?
Nervous. That's the only word I can describe. So basically, we're at this auditorium. Well, no, we're in the gym, and there's this crowd. We have these sections, and then they call the piano section, and there's all these kids. There's some kids that look my age, some kids that look a little younger, some kids that look a little older,
Mm-hmm.
and we're all in this room. And basically, what half of us do is until the other we practice, and the rest of us sit down. I was in the group that sat down first.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to socialize a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was yeah. I think the people were really nice there, honestly. So and behind and right beside us, there's this room where the other person is practicing, and so that person eventually gets called. So that's my turn to practice. And yeah, I start practicing. Eventually, after some time, I get called. And the funny thing was, I actually was the last person.
Mhm.
And I do this audition, and there's two people in this room. They look very serious, honestly. And they tell me to get my stuff, so I start doing my first. So I do my first song. A few mistakes here and there. Didn't bomb it, so that was good. Then I do my scale, my A major scale in my arpeggio. What was more surprising is that they didn't tell me to do a minor. I do not know why, honestly. But I didn't do a minor. And then I do my main song, the Sonatina. Now we go through. Now I end up doing this again. A few mistakes here and there. And then halfway, that's when I'm done with that, and that's pretty much my performance. Actually, no, I had to do sight reading.
Mhm.
Also, I have to mention that my hands are shaking at this point. Still shaking a little bit, remembering about it. So yeah, then I go to the site. So the sight reading, and well, it's not too hard actually. I honestly I think I could. I was a little slow on it, but I played pretty good in that one, so nothing to worry about. And then I go. They didn't have any face that would say that would tell you anything bad or anything overly good on how you did. Like if you tried to read their face, you wouldn't see anything overly that would tell you too much information, which is
Mhm.
leaving me confused. But yeah, then I get out and I realize that hey, wait a minute, I'm the last person. Nobody else is here. And yeah, I go out. There's this other older person who's escorting me out. She's definitely trying to comfort me through this because I'm very nervous. And yeah, then we get back to the gym. My whole family's there, my mom, my dad, my sister. We get some McDonald's. And yeah, that's how the audition pretty much went. Honestly.
Got you. Well, that's really exciting. It's a first time experience, so I'm sure it was a lot of first time jitters and not really knowing what to expect on your own, like when you get there. So I think you did pretty good. And then also preparing for the worst, going through all the scales and all the minors and all the arpeggios. And then you're like, they just pick one, like, so that was probably a relief. Was it a relief?
Yeah.
I was relieved when you told me that, like, oh, whew, that was good. So would you say that the audition was different from what you expected?
I was kind of like expecting a row of 5 judges. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm
Got you.
sure. I think I'm thinking of America's Got Talent.
I love it. What advice, Roman, would you give to a parent or a student who wants to audition in the future?
Well, definitely practice in advance. I think you should know where you want to go, and when you should know where you want to go, what you have to do, and just practice on it before so that you end up prepared and you definitely ace it. Especially if this is a first timer, because definitely know that getting nervous can really mess you up. You have to keep calm and just breathe.
So, off the musical record, what are just some of the general things that you enjoy doing with your time?
I mean, well, I like reading. Honestly, I like researching topics.
Mhm.
I love. Well, what else do I love? I just love enjoying time with my sister.
Mhm.
Like playing board games.
Mhm.
Trying to convince my sister to play chess with me. Honestly, never been
Okay.
successful, but definitely try to. And well, yeah, honestly, um, I mean,
I see you like socializing
yeah, I
and
kind of.
making friends. Do you have a lot of friends?
I mean, I have like a few. I think I have like 4 or 5, honestly. Not too many friends, but
Mhm.
good friends.
Mhm. That sounds awesome. And what grade are you in?
I'm in 6th grade.
Okay. And what do you enjoy about sixth grade? What do you
Well,
enjoy about sixth grade?
I enjoy 6th grade because it's like the first year where you're getting used to middle school. and it's like there's all these changes to elementary school, constantly moving around in shifts. And I remember in elementary school, I had one teacher, and I'm pretty lucky about this, and she taught everything. So like I was kind of like in the class the whole time. And now I have a bunch of teachers who specialize in one topic, and I'm just constantly on the move. It's a total shift. And sixth grade is just that first year where you're just getting used to these changes and growing up, and it's crazy, honestly.
Well, Roman, listen, I am super, super excited to be able to be one of your music teachers because I'm sure that you will continue to grow and you will evolve. Because if this is the path that you decide to take, there's just so much more musically that you can learn and that you're gonna learn. And I'm really excited for two reasons. For the first reason, that when you're writing your biography or you're being interviewed on TV and they say to you, well, who was your piano teacher? You're gonna say, Miss Beverly Burton of Beverly Burton School of Music. And I'm excited because I really believe that where you say you're gonna go, you're gonna get to. You are well supported, and I'm your teacher now, but I will forever be your teacher and forever be part of your team, part of your support system as you move towards your goal. And even if you choose a science track or a biology track or whatever, I'm still here to support you because I feel like whatever you decide to do in life, you are going to be great and you are going to impact many lives. Before we end this conversation that was so on point, that was so enlightening, that was so breathtaking, I would love for you to play a piece for us. Did a good job. Give yourself a hand. So thank you again, Roman, for sharing in this conversation with me. And I am looking forward to all that life has in store for you and all that you have to pour out in our lifetime. Thank you for being such a great student. And I just want to continue to encourage you to put in the work and to do and to be the example that other young people need in order to stay and stick with piano lessons.
So thank you, Mrs. Beverly, for having me on your show. I am looking forward to lessons with you in the future, possibly another appearance. Yeah.
So there you have it, another successful conversation on Ask a Piano Teacher Who Cares. So impressed with my student and looking forward to all the things that he and every other student in Beverly Burton School of Music has to share with the world. It's really all about our students, helping them to build a solid foundation, a lot of forward movement in the right direction, and a bright future. I'm Beverly Song Burton, and this is Ask a Piano Teacher Who Cares. I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining.